In Act 3, Scene 1, Macbeth discusses the murder of Banquo with two men. He tells them that Banquo is their enemy, and then he asks, "Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it. I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off." And he questions them, "Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man?" This accusation of weakness associated with Christianity, "Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man?" Instead of slitting his throat, is an accusation that Machiavelli, the father of political science, also makes. Machiavelli wrote, "Our religion has glorified humble and contemplative men rather than active ones. It has set up as the greatest good humility, abjectness, and contempt for human things. Our religion asks that you have fortitude within you. It prefers that you be adapted to suffering rather than to doing something vigorous. The way of living has made the world weak, since in order to go to heaven, men think more about enduring their injuries than about avenging them." This is basically the Christian philosophy of turning the other cheek. In the Nietzschean perspective, this is also known as slave morality. Slave morality is all about restraint. You cannot and you must not assert yourself. It is a morality born of the time when the earliest Christians were underneath the dominion of the Roman Empire. They were by no means the rulers of Rome. The opposite of slave morality, according to Nietzsche, is master morality. And this is all about asserting oneself in the world. Nietzsche writes, all master or noble morality arose out of the triumphant affirmation of one's own self. Macbeth speaks of this master morality in Act 3, Scene 1, when he says, "Champion me to the utterance." And also in Act 3, Scene 4, when he speaks, "For mine own good, all causes shall give way." Master morality, like nature itself, is essentially all about overpowering. It's about imposing one's own way. It's very tooth and claw. We see this description associated with nature in Act 1, Scene 2, when it is asked whether or not Macbeth was dismayed by his enemies on the battlefield. The response is yes, as sparrow eagles or the hare, the lion, meaning Macbeth dominated his enemies on the battlefield as the eagle dominates and rules over the sparrow, and the lion dominates and rules over the hare. But in this play, as in life, With this Nietzschean psychological model, it is quite possible for a single individual to have partially a master morality and partially a slave morality, at war within their own soul. In Act 3, Scene 1, Macbeth speaks of resentment. He resents the fact that he and his wife must lave their honors in flattering streams. He speaks, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are. And Macbeth suffers slave morality in his obsession on the evil figure of Banquo, which festers into fantasies, and the likes of which haunt him in Act 3, Scene 4. Macbeth desires to have master morality, and be whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But he suffers from slave morality. He feels cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. And his hatred of Banquo sticks deep, as is his hatred of the slave morality that he finds within himself. He speaks in Act 3, Scene 4, "Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the hurricane tiger, take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble." It is with Banquo that he must cower down, and it is with Banquo that he is unable to manifest his own will to power, but rely instead on the witch's prophecies.